everybody. Carrie and Howie
from
Carrie Buys Houses. And good morning to you all.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
We just got back from our son's VPK graduation, and it was kind of a bummer.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't really a graduation, but we drove in our car and they gave him a little diploma.
I promise to keep my political rantings away from this forum, so I won't talk about how ridiculous this whole thing is.
I know, but anyways, he got his diploma. He's graduating and going on to college, or not college, kindergarten. It's hopefully college soon. Yeah. Anyways, we always like to say it's always a seller's market.
We always like to say?
We like to say it's always a seller's market. And today we're going to be talking about the very first renovation that we did because it was kind of crazy.
It was a doozy. It was a doozy.
I think we were talking about how we bought that house. That was like our very first house we ever bought. So even before like our primary residence. So we had no, I had no experience buying houses. I didn't even know what a mortgage was at that time. I had no experience renovating houses. You did.
A little,
actually, but you were working full time and basically told me if you want to renovate this house, it's on your own.
Right. Well, I'll back up even. What I first told her is a long time before that, she said, we talked about being in real estate and becoming real estate investors. And
right.
Are you looking at everything?
And I said, I want to be a flipper.
And she goes, I want to flip houses. And I said, you don't want to flip houses. In fact, go try one, knock yourself out, and I guarantee you it'll be the last thing you ever do.
So here's what's really interesting about the very first house that we renovated. We had it under contract, and like a few days before closing, we had a investor approach us, and they were going to give us like $20,000 just to assign the contract to them. We wouldn't have to do anything. And I said, no, I want to be a flipper. I'm going to renovate this house. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to make so much profit. I'm going to love doing it. I have so much time to do this. And so we ended up closing on it, and we started the renovation. But I had never done this before, and it's not like HGTV. It's not as fun anyways sometimes when you're having problems and issues, and this was a huge house.
And things don't magically go from gutted to finished in the next scene, do they?
And you know what? This was a huge house. It was a frame house. It had been, it really needed a lot of TLC, and it had been sitting for a while, and so we said, well, we can handle it. So anyways, we structured the financing. We got a hard money lender. We had a private loan also, and then we had our own money in. So the financing was kind of crazy to put this all together, but it was our first deal ever, and we didn't, have that much money when we first started out in this business. So we kind of had to put like pieces of financing together. And what we realized when we started doing it was that there was way more repairs than we bargained for. We were running out of money every time we turned around.
Well, wait a minute. You notice she's using the word we. We weren't doing anything.
Well, I was somewhere
else working.
I was running out of our money. And I would like have him come over because I'd start freaking out. Oh my gosh, remember that one morning when I had you come over because there was siding. I forget what kind of siding it was. It was like a wood siding house, and it was a frame house. And Antonio, or a contractor, was like, don't worry, Carrie, everything's fine. We'll take care of it. And so I met him over at the house, and as he peeled off the siding, we realized like the siding, he had to keep peeling off the siding because the underlayment was really rotted. And the more siding he ripped off, the more underlayment we realized was rotted. And he kept pulling off siding, and I was like, stop pulling the siding off. And he's like, no, don't worry, we'll get it. But like I was like ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching as he's like pulling off the siding, and I called you over because I was so freaked out. But it was just little things like that. Like you just never know when you start ripping stuff out of a house or opening up walls, what you're going to run into. We also had like so many life events getting in the way. So our very first renovation, we got married in the middle of it. We left Georgia to go to Rhode Island to get married. And on my wedding day, I was ordering the kitchen cabinets. It was ridiculous. I was like getting my hair and makeup done, and my brother came in and he was like, Carrie, what can I do for you? And I'm like, here, can you go order my cabinets for me? And he's like, what? You're getting married today. And I'm like, I know. And if I don't order these cabinets, the project's going to get delayed. So whenever you're, thinking about doing a renovation, really don't make sure there's going to be no major life events getting in the way, especially if this is your first renovation. But anyways, we finished the renovation. It turned out beautiful. And then we were ready to put the house on the market. I can't even remember all the crazy things that happened during that renovation. There was a 3-tiered deck. It was beautiful, but remember they couldn't even get the ladders out there. Like it cost us so much money to paint that deck because they had to bring special ladders out there to paint the deck.
It was a beautiful house. It ran, it was on a big lot. It was at the end of a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
It was like the perfect combination of being in town but being in the woods at the same time.
Yeah.
It was just gorgeous, and it was on a hill, and there was a creek running along the backside of it.
Such a
and
gorgeous
this
property.
3-tiered deck literally looked out over this creek. This was a gorgeous property.
Had an elevator. Remember it had the
Oh
elevator?
yeah, it had an elevator. That was the craziest thing. I would never get in that thing.
But yeah, I learned so many lessons on that one. If I had gone back and done this renovation again, I mean, we really way over improved that property because I was putting things in that I wanted, that I liked. I think that a lot of homeowners do this, especially homeowners when we come in the middle of the project when they're thinking about selling a house and they've gone through the renovation and they've stopped and they're like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I come in and I realize they've either over improved it or under improved it. And I think we way over improved that house, but it was kind of a good thing because we had a really hard time selling that house. And I think that our renovation really sold that house. But, you know, when you go into a renovation, especially when you're going to be reselling it, or if you're a homeowner that's renovating it to sell the house, you don't want to over improve it. And you don't want to put things in that you know, I like, me, Carrie, because not everyone likes what I like. So we're going to talk about why we had such a hard time selling this and kind of some of the mistakes that we made, because I think, you know, we run into so many homeowners and so many investors that are making the same mistakes we made in those first few years that we did this business. And, you know, we still make mistakes, but
As I say, not that we don't make them today.
no, we're
later.
perfect.
Yeah.
But I think that's it for today. So,
You do?
yeah.
Okay.
So anyways, guys, if you or anyone you know has a house that you're interested in selling, you're thinking about doing the repairs, you're not sure about whether you want to do the repairs or not, you want to sell it as is because you don't want to do those repairs, please give us a call. We'd be happy to talk to you. We buy houses as is and quickly.
We're gluttons for punishment, so we continue to do this
for
for 8 years. This was 8 years ago.
It's really a love-hate relationship renovating houses. You hate it when you're doing it, but then you just love it and then go on to the next. It's a weird relationship.
If you still got everything intact, yeah.
So thanks again for watching, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.